All right, good afternoon. It is Monday, the 11th of May. It feels like ages since I've done the last Honesty Hour, and a lot has gone on since the last Honesty Hour. Uh, Let me tell you, there's a lot going forwards as well, which is really, really cool. So, last time I spoke, we would have had a couple of free educational classes around back pain sciatica, which we did in our EC clinic, our Salisbury clinic, our Portsmouth clinic. We have a new diabetic neuropathy talk free educational class on Wednesday in Portsmouth at 6:30 at Gatcombe House. If you want some more details on that, then let me know. Jordan at activemotion.uk, and I can send you some details for that. We will be doing a Facebook Live for that as well, which is really, really cool. But we are heading into the Honesty Hour, where we answer your questions that keep you up at night around your health, well-being, and musculoskeletal conditions. Leads to questions around independence, about strength, about aging, and everything in between. So yeah, if you ever want to get a question in, please send it to Jordan at activemotion.uk or through our social media channels. I have been away since our last call, so I headed out to LA, and I did a Honesty Hour from LA. I remember now, and had an amazing time out in LA. Got to see LeBron James play in what might be his final season, and it was a playoff game, which was an incredible atmosphere. I've never been to a basketball game before. I'd quite honestly say I've never been to a sports event like it. So that was really cool. And then spent 3 days in LA doing some work. Went to visit a clinic out in LA. So I brought a lot of ideas back to the clinic as a result of that, in how we help people further. But the main thing I want to go through today is 3 questions that have come in through our social media channels or our email channel to be asked on the Honesty Hour. We have a 3 tips email every Tuesday that the replay of this goes back out on, for those that have asked their questions but may not have been able to be on the call to answer it. So there has been a question around, I won't read the exact question, but I will read in and around the question, which is, I've been doing the exercises that I see on social media for the last 3 months, but I'm no better. If anything, I'm probably in more pain. Now, the question is, what do I do? But I want to go into that in a slightly different dynamic and a slightly different, deeper level to some description. And that is that what you see online is great, but it doesn't mean that it's right for you, because it doesn't take into account things like your specific ailments, your specific equipment, your specific circumstances around your pain, in terms of what causes your pain, where exactly it's located, how long you've been suffering with it for, how it affects you. It doesn't take into account anything to do with that. So there's not the right exercises for you, is what it sounds like to me. And if you see some things online, like I see a lot of things because of just the nature of what my algorithm shows me as a result of what I post and the line of work that I'm in. For example, like I see things online that they say athletes do, and I can assure you that's not good rehab for what athletes do. They don't necessarily jump on bows with balls and balance on one leg on certain things and this and that. But at the end of the day, it also doesn't mean that it's right for you. So what I think is missing is the deeper level than the exercises on social media. And this isn't me trying to sell anything. It's a conversation of all of those things are not tailored to you specifically. They are put out there for the masses to watch. And I'm part of that. I put content out. Yes, I have people that do the exercises that I show. Whether they find benefit from that or not, I don't really know. But also, I can't put an exercise out and say it's going to be right for everybody. Everybody's journey is different, so everybody's entry point to exercises should be different, which means that they need a individualized strategic plan to get them from here to here, from where they are now to where they want to be. And if that means that you have to work with somebody with knowledge, support, can hold you accountable, who can plan out what you need to do to get from here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here, then that's what I think is most necessary. And that is a strategic, individualized plan from somebody who is an expert in that space. So what that means is you may end up paying for that, because the value behind that is actually their experience, their knowledge, and their ability to get you from here to here. Yes, content is free to consume and free to implement, but it doesn't mean that you know what you need to implement, how much, so the dosage, how often, so the frequency, to what intensity, what specific exercises to do or not do, how often, how long for in one session, for example. And then for how long, how consistent do you need to be? And do you need somebody to hold you to account to keep you consistent? Most people don't drop off of exercise because they're lazy. They don't drop off exercise because they find it hard. Excuse me. They drop off of exercise because they haven't formed the habit. If you enjoy it and it fits into your routine, and somebody might need to strategically do that for you, then you're more likely to do it and be consistent. And so for me, in the way that we work, is I work with a lot of people that are busy. I work with a lot of people that are retired and still busy. That's not saying that retired people aren't busy. It's saying that on the surface, you'd think they'd have more time on their hands. But actually, if you can factor it in and go, okay, can you do these exercises while you're watching TV in the evening? Can you do these exercises when you're waiting for kettle to boil or brushing your teeth or this or that? And you start to create a habit that they do it at these times. That's going to become more effective, more consistent, and more enjoyable. So the answer for there is, you might be doing the right exercises at the wrong dosage. It's very hard to say. But I think that we are individual human beings that require individual strategic plans. That's why there is a large drop-off rate from the NHS services, for example, and this is not me bashing the NHS or slating those that work for it, but there's a drop-off from the NHS services because they don't give individualized treatment plans. They don't give individualized rehab plans. It feels like they go, here's a sheet of exercises, off you go, that were already pre-printed. Yes, they might circle one or two of them for you to do, but it's not an individualized plan of care. It's not mapped out from where you are now to where you want to be and the steps in between. And there's no support to go, oh, actually, that made it worse. What do I do? Or that was really easy. I'm okay. What do I do? And so that's why there's a large drop-off rate from the services like the NHS. So any questions on that, put them in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them on that topic. But we're going to move on to the second topic now, which is, I am getting weaker and less mobile. Am I getting weaker and less mobile, or am I just getting older? Now, the two can happen together. But I know a lot of people that are what you would class as an older adult or older individual that are still very strong, very mobile, very independent. We've had 89-year-olds through this clinic, multiple of them, that are independent, mobile, and very, very strong, and are still fighting fit to this day. We've had very immobile 50-year-olds, very weak 50-year-olds. I don't believe that getting weaker or less mobile is as a result of your age. I think it's as a result of the things that may not have been done leading up to you aging or throughout your aging process, and then it gets put down to age. As we get older, we tend to move less, do less strenuous exercise, eat less, sleep less, socialize less, and so we slow down. We don't do as much. Other people do things for us. which we used to do. I've said on a video previously, my granddad used to walk 18 holes of golf. He'd put his golf bag in the boot of his car, but when he got to the golf club, I would take it out of his car for him because I thought I was doing the right thing. But actually, what it might be was he was getting some strength benefit from doing the lifting. He was working his balance and coordination. And if I do that and somebody else does a small task and somebody else does a small task and somebody else does a small task and taking things away from him, I'm taking away his independence. I think I'm being helpful, but actually I'm being less helpful. And so I think the answer is yes, you may be getting weaker. Yes, you may be getting less mobile. Yes, you might be getting older. But I don't think the two are directly correlated and linked in the way that people believe they are. And I believe that the first one is getting currently, when people feel weaker and less mobile, they blame it on their age, and it's not a result of getting older. I can assure you of that. So that's my standpoint on it. We help people get stronger and more mobile as they age. It's still definitely appropriate. There's a lady that has recently broken the Guinness Book of World Records for hanging from a bar for as long as period of time, and she's in her 80s, I believe. And actually, there's a really good indication of grip strength to independence. There's loads of research on that, and grip strength to overall health and well-being. So my answer there is not probably the one that you wanted to hear, but actually the best thing that you can do from here forwards is work on all of those factors. Work on your balance, work on your strength, and work on your mobility. They're the three foundations to your independence. If you want to change how you look and how you feel being the bigger one, okay, do strength work and mobility work. It does not have to be in a gym. It can be from home, doing things that are functional tasks. You're not there to get physically looking strong. You're there to build your function and your mobility. So they need to be functional activities. Easiest start point. Find an activity that you find hard. So let's take getting up the stairs or up and out of a chair, and practice it. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes, the easier it becomes. And it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get the instant gratification on this. You're going to get a build-up process over time where it gets better and better. That might be a couple of weeks. It might be a couple of months. It might be 12 months. You've just got to stay the course. Other things will improve alongside that. There was another thought process that came into my head as I kind of went and spiraled there, but which I can't for the life of me remember right now. But if you're weak or not as mobile as you'd like to be, don't blame it on your age. Look at and review what you have done to maintain that. If I don't put the work in now, in 10 years' time, my body is not going to still be the same as it is now. So I need to invest into my health to maintain and hopefully actually improve the mobility or independence or strength that I currently have. And yes, some people are going to say, well, you're young, so it's not a problem. I mean that as I'm any individual, but also I have a degenerative knee. I have to put work in every day. If I don't, in 10 years' time, I'm going to be a lot worse than I am now. And I'm just trying to maintain what I have there. Now, the last question that I'm going to talk about right now is, why do I keep starting over? And what I mean, well, what I think they mean by that question is, why do I start something and then have to restart again because it wasn't right? Why do I not stay consistent? Why do I find it a challenge to do it for long enough to see the benefits? Now, my answer here is, you probably haven't formed a habit. So You haven't enjoyed what you've been doing to form a habit. You haven't built it into your routine. You haven't planned time to do it. This is the biggest thing. If you look at your diary the day and you haven't planned an exercise, the day will run away with you. So what I mean by that is you'll put other things in. So somebody will be like, do you want to go for a coffee? And you don't get your exercises done as a result. Whereas if you had planned in to do your exercises and had a bit of self-discipline to say, I'm not going to do that, go for that coffee because I got my exercises, I could go for a coffee after or before, but you've protected that time to do those exercises. It's exactly the same as planning to book an appointment or going to an appointment that you've booked, or I have certain work that I have to get done by this deadline time. You're going to allot some time to doing it. Allot that time, put it into your routine, block it out, and protect it. That's the biggest bit that I would say why you keep having to start over. The other bit is anybody holding you accountable to doing it? Because if they're not, then you don't have a support network around you for it. You haven't set yourself up to thrive. And whether that is somebody that you work with to hold you accountable, whether it is somebody that is in your household, a loved one, a friend, somebody you could do it with, for example, you're going to be held to account to do what you say you're going to do and do what you say you want to achieve. And so that's why you keep having to keep getting started. The other reason, before I end on this one, is the reason why you're doing it big enough? Now, if you said to somebody that can't play with their grandkids, if you do this consistently, you'll be able to play with your grandkids, I can assure you that's a big enough motivator for 95% of people in that situation. Now, if it's, I just want to get stronger for what? What's the bigger reason that keeps you going on a day-to-day basis when you don't want to keep going? So the dark days of not wanting to do it will come, but what's the reason that keeps you going? What's the light that keeps burning for you to keep moving forwards towards that goal? The other way of looking at it is having the self-discipline to go, I don't miss more than one day in a row. One day was a mistake, 2 days was a choice. That's a phrase that I've learned. And I think it came from someone like Chris Williamson that I heard it, and he's probably got it from somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere else. But one day, choosing not to do it one day can be a mistake. Choosing to do it for 2 days or not doing it for 2 days is a choice and therefore becomes a habit. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Accountability, planning, choices. Don't make the mistake. Don't let that mistake lead to a choice. Now, the next one of these is going to be the same time next week. I'm very busy this week in the clinic. And then I go, oh no, I won't be doing the same time next week. I will be doing one on Thursday. I have to get one out on Thursday then, because I'm off to Center Parcs at the weekend and I will be coming back on Monday. So this will not be taking place on Monday. But if you're watching this back on the replay, thank you very much. Get your questions in, send us via email. Just reply to the email you get from us. If you're not on our email list for the 3 Tips Tuesday, where I give out free advice about maintaining your strength, independence, and mobility, just send us an email requesting to be on it, and we can get you set up on that. Now, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on Thursday.